Hi friends, today I want to make a really fun Valentine's Day craft with you. We are going to be learning how to mix paints together to create different values. So since it's Valentine's Day, we're going to be using red paint and we're going to see what happens when we add some white to it, and we're going to see what happens when we add some black to it. I'll show you a really fun way to use a toilet paper roll to make a really fun heart stamping pattern. So let's get started. Check this out. Today I'm using my never before used art palette, nice and big and wooden. I'm going to put on red, white, and black paint. That was actually way too much black paint. Black paint, you just need the tiniest bit of it. I had a very hard time getting the extra back into the bottle. So we're going to be mixing these paints together. We're going to be mixing white with red and then some black with the red. And we're going to see what happens when you add white and when you add black. I bet a lot of you already know what's going to happen or might already have an idea of what's going to happen. Let's talk art vocabulary really quickly. So red is a color, but it's also referred to as a hue. So a hue is another name for color. And when you add white to a hue, you make a tint. And this tint, when you add white to red, actually makes pink. So I'm going to scrape this up and set it aside so I can use it later. And I'm going to go again and I'm going to make another tint. So I'm going to add more white this time. And I bet you can guess what happens when you add more white. It's going to get lighter. So this one will be an even lighter pink. It is still called a tint because I'm adding white to it. It is just a lighter tint than the previous color we just made. So now I'm gonna scrape that one up so I can use it later, and I'm gonna try one more time to see if I can get an even lighter shade of pink, an even lighter tint, and I'm gonna use just a teeny amount of red and mix it in with the rest of my white because I won't need to use white anymore. And let's see if I can get it very, very light pink. Kind of running out of white, but I think it'll work. I love mixing colors. It almost just feels like magic when colors mix together because you get to just transform these little globs of goop into something totally new. So I've made 3 different tints by adding different amounts of white. Now it's time to add some black and see what happens. So when you're mixing in black, it's really important to remember that black is a very strong color. So you just need the tiniest bit and it's still going to make it much darker. And so when you add black, this is called a shade. I like to remember shade because it's like when you go under a tree and you're in the shade, it gets darker than if you're out in the sunlight. And I'm going to do this one more time where I add a little bit more black and red together and get an even darker shade. So now I have these lovely pinks that are tints, and I have these lovely maroons that are shades. So now I'm going to take the paper towel roll and push down the top of it, and it kind of starts to create that heart shape, and I'm going to squeeze them together. This is a little bit tricky. You might need a grown-up's help to get this part done. Then you squeeze the bottom part of it, and you just keep working around and playing with it until you have a heart shape. And now it can be a stamp. You can see my first couple ones I've done here. I don't have quite enough paint on there. Now I do. So you really want to rub it around on the paint and just start filling up your paint. You could make it more in a regular pattern like rows, or you could do it like this where it's just all randomly covering the page. Thank you so much for painting with me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did and that you learned a little bit about tints and shades and what it can happen when you add white and black to a color. This, once it's dry, is going to be ready for a Valentine's Day craft. Watch out for part 2 of this video where we will make a Valentine. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, please check out our other social media channels and our website, artswithamyandalden.com. There you can sign up for our live classes.